Made my way to a show. As I'm changing the glow, I made it my
Hi,
own.
I'm Suzette Solandi, and you are watching Putting Power in Your Purpose. Today, I'm meeting Walter McNeil, CEO of Challengers Independent Living, as he talks about kids when they come out of the foster program and what they do to help them, one child at a time. I am here today with Walter McNeil, Chief Executive Officer for Challengers Independent Living. Walter, how are you?
I'm good.
Good, good. So Walter, tell me a little bit about Challengers and when it started.
Well, Challengers Independent Living is a nonprofit organization who provides services to teenagers who are aging out of the foster care system. Challengers started about 18 years ago. 1998, we actually opened up our doors. We started out with 7 kids with the emphasis behind working with kids in foster care who have suffered from abuse, abandonment, and neglect. And what we realized is that those kids who were in foster care, when they turned 18, 19, 20 years old, they age out of the foster care system, and a lot of them became homeless. What Challengers wanted to do with the goal of preventing homelessness, kids who were involved in violent crimes, kids who were incarcerated, kids who became domestic abusers themselves, were now perpetrators, from the abuse that they have experienced as kids. We want to prevent some of those things, and one of those ways of doing it is to address the kids' mental health issues, also to address their lack of independent life skills. So we teach them independent life skills, get them involved with social workers so that they can get their mental health needs addressed. A lot of our kids suffer from severe emotional disturbances, and a lot of times that is the main core reason why our kids suffer, or I guess flounder so much in society. What we found out is that they were ill prepared to live self-sufficiently once they turned 21. And so Challenger's mission was to prepare our kids to live self-sufficiently at the age of 21 when the foster care system no longer cares for them or no longer provides services for them. Most independent living programs already assume that you got an 18-year-old or 19-year-old kid in their program that they already had a plethora of skills, which is not the case. And we found the opposite, as a matter of fact. Because a lot of times when people are in foster care, when kids are in foster care, a lot of times they're in situations where they don't have access to using the laundry, they don't have access to being able to cook their own foods, they don't have access to budgeting their own money because everything is provided for them. But when you think about independent living and preparing somebody to live self-sufficiently, you have to do all those things. And our thing is you have to learn, develop, and practice independent life skills. That's the only way you can acquire those skills. And so what we have an independent life skills specialist. This person is involved with getting our kids' households together. He helps them with shopping, he helps them with maintaining their apartments, helps them with grocery shopping, helps them with signing lease agreements, helps them with finding apartments in the community. All these things are things they need to do in order to transition to self-sufficiency. Then of course we have a licensed clinical social worker. The licensed clinical social worker maintains the mental health stability of all our kids. The Challengers also have case managers. Case managers helps our kids with education issues, helps them with getting their driver's license, birth certificates, vital records, social security cards, and things of that nature.
What made you decide to get involved with Challengers?
Well, I was a graduate student at the University of Maryland School of Social Work in 1994, I think. And so my teacher said, find a population whose needs aren't being addressed and write a program to address those needs. So I looked in PsychLit and Social Work Abstracts. These are different sites that you find information and do research. And I didn't find anything on children who were aging out of the foster care system. Well, the reason why I went that route, I was working at the Board of Child Care, which is a program for teenagers kids between the ages, I think we served from 8 to 18 at the time. But those kids were leaving the Board of Child Care at 18, and they were just moving out into the community, but they were always returning, around dinner time. One of the young men asked me, can he use my address? And I said, why do you need to use my address? He said, because I'm couch surfing, and that means I go from one house to the next, and when they say, I'm tired of you, then you got to move the house. But you can't get your mail because you're not any place consistently. And I was like, wow, this is serious. So I remembered that, and then when I was thinking about a population whose needs aren't being addressed, I said, well, what about the kids aged out of foster care?
And how can people donate or, be able to participate in Challengers? What's the best approach?
Cool. Well, Challengers is a nonprofit organization, and by being a nonprofit organization, we're a 501c3 organization. We're registered with the state of Maryland, Secretary of the State, and so people can donate money to us and receive a tax write-off. But being a nonprofit organization, we're actually governed by a community board of directors, which is made up of some professionals in the community, people in the community who actually are concerned about the well-being of our kids. And and so we always are looking for new board members. People can join our board. You can go on our website, www.challengers1.org, and or you can call here at the office, 443-348-7580, and find out information. But also through our website, you can also find out about different donations that we can accept. We always have a wish list because we have apartments where our kids live at. And so, we can always use like clothing, bedding, twin size bedding, comforters, sheets, pillowcases, and things of that nature. Pots and pans, anything you can think of a household would need.
This probably takes up 90% of your time. You sound very passionate about Challengers Independent Living. But what do you want people to know about you personally?
I'm a father of two. I have a 20-year-old who attends Brown University. Very proud of her. I have a 15-year-old who attends Franklin Senior High School. She is one of the state's best track runners, and it's true. But I brag on my daughters all the time. But there's one about other passion. If I'm not doing challenges, I'm definitely putting all my energy into them. But sports kind of saved my life. And and I went to college on a baseball scholarship. I went to Coppin State University, and played 4 years at Coppin, my alma mater. And so I think had I not participating in those kind of activities, I could be something else. So I keep my daughters, heavily involved in things, and and now I think they're receiving some of the fruits of that upbringing that I received.
Thank you, Walter. I want to thank you for joining us on this episode of Putting Power in Your Purpose.
Made my way to a show. As I'm changing the globe, I made it my own. I'm great and I know.